Welcome to the show that looks at truth, fiction, and reality with a smirk. I'm Aaron Peterson.
I'm Zack Parkerson.
And I'm Scott Clark.
And welcome to Smirk. Each week, one of our hosts introduces an original story, which we then use as a springboard for a spirited discussion of whatever the moral or theme of their story was. Scott is joining us again as Amanda is off on vacation as much as she can vacation in the current environment. So welcome back, Scott Clark.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm glad I was invited back after last week.
Yeah, it was dark, dude. Thanks.
Yeah, I feel real good.
Do you? But you feel pretty confident that this one is going to be a joy, a ray of sunshine?
I could not possibly make a story darker.
That's fair.
Hold my beer.
That's
Right.
fair. Although I'm going to give it a whirl one of these days.
Oh, boy.
All right, Zach, you know what? Let's just get right into it. Let's get into this episode of Smirk. I'm ready for some joy.
Okay, yeah. I wrote this in a bit of a different style than I normally write, so you let me know if it's wretched or not.
What does that mean?
He wrote it in crayon.
Are you going to do voice?
Yes.
Like, hello, what's up, governor?
It's funny that you wouldn't try to a British accent, because my immediate thought was I should narrate the whole thing in a British accent.
Hopefully your British accent is better than Aaron's, because that was awful.
Hello, good day.
Hello,
I'm going to
governor.
put another shrimp on the barbie. I go Australia.
Say you're Australian? Oh, man. I feel like Cockney British, it's always, I always try to go to the Jason Statham place and start talking like this.
Yeah.
Everything was the whisper British.
I'm going to beat your ass when this is over.
Yeah, I think I did that for one of Amanda's story. My throat burned at the end of it.
You did. It was fun, though. It was good times.
Yeah.
All right, tell your story. Let's hear this new way to tell a story.
It's just a bit more verbose than normal.
I really
Anyway.
don't know what that means, but I'm excited.
Whatever. I just wanted to give you a heads up in case it's different. Anyway, gather around the campfire. It's time for a story. Cale hates Tuesdays. Honestly, in his opinion, Tuesdays are quite truthfully the worst day that any day of the week could get. Sure, Wednesdays could drag and Mondays had its own set of downs, but Tuesday? Just dreadful. Because Tuesday was laundry day. Is there a greater horror in our known universe than that of the laundromat? Strangers all having to wash their most intimate garments side by side. The vending machines that only ever seem to steal money, and let's not even get started on those god-awful change-maker machines. How is it that every laundromat in America has 3 out of 4 change machines out of order? That should be mathematically impossible, yet is true beyond a shadow of a doubt. As yet another wretched Tuesday came to a close, Cale saw a brand new package waiting on his doorstep. After settling the fruits of his day's labor, a batch of laundry that could charitably be called clean enough, he pulled the massive packages into his home. He couldn't believe his eyes. It was a new washer and dryer. Cale knew that he would never order such a package. As terrible as Tuesdays were, he could never quite manage to save up the funds required for a washer and dryer. Attached was a note that only read, "From a concerned party." This is one of those scenarios, Cale decided, where it's best just to whistle to yourself quietly and accept what fate had in store for you. Over the next week, Cale excitedly set up his new appliances. He did make sure to eye all his close friends at work with knowing suspicion, trying to deduce who in their right mind would procure him such a fanciful gift. But he also wasn't so foolish as to start asking around. Again, best not to think too hard on free laundering devices. Then came Tuesday. A day formerly relegated to utter atrocity was now something Cale was looking forward to gleefully. Once the wash cycle on his clothes was complete, he excitedly put them in the dryer. But something stood out as strange. His favorite blue shirt was red. His blue denim jeans were now a dark black, and his socks were as multicolored as a rainbow. Obviously distraught and confused, Cale put the clothes to dry and tried another load. Same story. They resembled his favorite pieces of wardrobe, but were surely not of it. It was hard to be excited at the anticipation of that comfy, fresh laundry feeling when something was so obviously amiss with his new appliance. Cale took a peek inside and noticed some of the metal at the back of the machine was peeling. Cale felt that overwhelming urge to peel away at the metal to find the source of his color conundrum. The same sort of itch that needs scratching when your dollar bills are facing different directions. He had to prop himself inside the machine for leverage as he tried peeling away. Instead, after a few frustrating moments, the metal paneling gave way and Cale fell further into the machine. Much to his complete shock and horror when he opened his eyes, he saw a forested, fanciful world. and these little gnome creatures, imagine your average garden gnome, handling all sorts of clothing. As he looked around, he could see several portals in the area, portals that looked an awful lot like the paneling at the back of a washing machine. Cale had just stumbled into a vast gnome-driven clothing prank operation. His only thought to himself was, so that's where all the socks go, before he fainted.
I needed that after last week. Thank you.
Told you it was a little lighter.
Yeah, I like it. That's what happens with the socks because they always mismatch.
Yes, you always do lose socks, right? It's just, That's not crazy.
And that's where all his gnomes went. Zack's known for stealing garden gnomes. So that's...
That's true, yes. I have a history with garden gnomes.
I just like I like the fact that the machine itself is not laundering your clothes. It's actually being transported to another world where these gnomes are doing the laundry and then putting it back in the machine wet. Is that?
Yes. Yeah, that is the implication. They mess it up.
Can we talk about why they need the socks? I mean, do they use them for coats or hats or what?
Oh, yeah, hats. That makes sense. They got the little ball on the top of the hat.
And that's why they only need one of them.
Right.
That's true.
That's smart. See, we figured it. We cracked the code, boys.
Sally, did you get those socks back? Yeah, I did. 9 out of 10 of them. You know what I'm saying?
So what causes the multicolors or the different colors and changes then?
They just think it's funny.
Oh, they're doing it to mess with the real world.
Gnomes are badass, man. I respect that level of... That's an Ashton Kutcher level of punked.
The most brilliant pranks are always the ones where you're so sure of it that you don't stick around to even see the results.
I love pranksters.
Yeah. You give them that blue shirt, and you know full well that their day is ruined.
Well, I mean, how hard would it be for them to install a camera on the front of the washing machine and have like a little command center down there in Gnome World that they can watch all these and point and laugh?
Yeah, I like it. We're building a little universe here.
What are they going to watch? They're gonna be watching somebody loading the washing machine. That's exciting.
No, the reaction when they open the lid and their socks are now multicolored, and they go, "What the hell?"
I don't know why people get so mad about that. I mean, I've been washing colors and whites together for years, and I'm fine if it comes out a different color. I'm just like, new shirt.
I'm fully of the mind that that's a old wives' tale. I've been washing whites and colors together my whole life. I've never seen any bleed.
Exactly. The trick is wash whatever it is at least once or twice by itself. After that, you're all good, man. Let it roll. I ain't separating. You know how much work it takes to separate them? And people always tell you, well, you got to separate them, otherwise you're doing laundry wrong. Wrong. Be poor. We can't afford to do 5 loads of laundry.
Yes.
I've never considered not separating my laundry.
Oh. No, you come from a place of laundry privilege, Scott.
Exactly. White sock privilege. I like it.
Is that the title of your story?
Right. Definitely.
Maybe it should be. But it's true. If you're poor, you didn't separate, man, because you would go to the laundromat and you had so much money. So you would wash what you could afford to wash, and you kind of just threw it all together.
I want to comment on one thing that in your story that I thought was a really cool analogy, but there was a perplexed look on Aaron's face while you were reading it.
Uh-oh.
When you mentioned he was peeling back the metal in the back of it, and then you compared it to like how you have to arrange all your dollar bills facing the same way or something.
Right.
I totally got that, but Aaron's look on his face was one of like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about? My dollar, I don't care what way my dollar is facing. It spends the exact same. No, I don't care.
That blows my mind, man.
Why?
Oh, yeah.
I cannot insert bills into my wallet if they are facing different directions.
Same here, exactly.
Are you kidding me? This is a thing with both of you.
For real.
This is the new moral of the story. What are you talking about, Aaron?
I don't know. What is it? Who cares which way Lincoln's looking? I don't care. Give me my money. That's what I care about. Or Washington or anybody.
It's easier to see what you actually have in your wallet that way. Like
it's not. The number's on all 4 corners. I can tell.
And I actually collate them, so like all the 1s are together, all the 5s are together, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
I do that because you don't want to be like, I need $3, and then you give somebody $13 because you're too stupid to freaking figure it out. But I get keeping it in the right denomination, but I gotta have my president's head up here and his neck down here. Who gives a I don't care. I don't care.
It bugs me. That's ever since I was a kid.
I don't even care if they're like a whole dollar bill. If it's like half of it's cut off, I'll still try to spend that. I don't care, and I'll put it in the wallet happily.
No, man. If I'm at I'll hold up the line to arrange my bills before I put it in the wallet.
Same here.
I will hold up the line. No, Becky,
You best believe.
you wait. I got to get my heads correct for my presidents. They're not in the right order.
Yeah.
So Zach, does it bug you like when the like we don't really go to the bank tellers anymore because everything's automated now? But when a bank teller counts your money back to you and they're not faced, and then I sit there and I organize them in line before I.
That would drive me crazy. I mean, even at work, at jobs when I work a register, all the bills in the register are facing the same direction as well.
I was trained that way. Seriously, I was trained that way when I worked at a bank. The manager that was in place before me used to go through every teller's drawer and write them up if the bills weren't facing the right way or if they were folded in half. So many
write-ups. I would, because I will tell you as a fact, as soon as I was taught that way, I would instinctively turn them all crisscross and backwards.
A rebel without a cause, this guy.
I would have the head on one side, the next bill would be the back side of the dollar, and it would just be bam, 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 back and forth. That's all I would do. Just out of
I think writing people up seems a little aggressive.
It just seems like a weird thing. What are you going to write me up for? I'm sorry, the fives were not facing the correct way. You get 3 days off suspension. You think it's funny?
Imagine going home to your wife or husband and you're like, I lost my job today. Oh my God, what happened? 20s were on the left. What? Again?
Damn it, Steve! Why can't you get it right? Your whole life is just a big dollar bill facing the wrong way.
I mean, I do agree that it's very aggressive, but the idea behind it was if you keep your drawer organized, you have less offages.
Oh, is that
right?
What does that have to do with counting the money? His head doesn't, which way his head faces doesn't affect how much money there is in the drawer.
That doesn't affect it, but if you keep your drawer that organized, then you are more likely to be more precise in when you count it. There's a psychology behind it.
And more likely to be single for a long time.
You're probably less likely to miss a bill when you're counting your drawer because you're like, oh, this one's facing the left. Like you'll notice it for sure.
I call it the virginity drawer because that's where you're going to be for a long time.
That's right. Studies show if your bills face the same way, you're going to lose your virginity at an older age.
You think
Exactly.
That's bad, Aaron. I grew up with a buddy that not only required his bills to be facing the same way, he couldn't put his bills in his wallet unless they were alphabetized. You know how they have a little letter on them? A little letter on them?
Yeah.
Like the serial number?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
So all the A's were in the front and all the way, what do they go to? Like L or something like that?
It's not a collectible. It's cash. It's.
I'm not saying it was a good thing.
I mean, I get
sense.
it. Like, come check out my vinyl album collection. All right, those should be in alphabetical order. Fine, that's fine. Check out my Blu-rays. All right, alphabetical order. Check out my $27. What?
I think for him, it was an excuse to recount his money. He was a Scrooge McDuck thing where he wanted to, I need a reason to go through and see how much money's in my wallet.
Dear God, man. That's amazing. What kind of life are you guys leading? I've never even thought about it. I literally just put my money in my pocket. I make sure it's straight. I want it crisp, I guess. But if you gave it to me and it's all wadded up, I still spend it. It wouldn't bother me. I'm not getting an iron. I'm not flattening it out.
I've never considered putting my money in my wallet any other way. It just seems completely wrong to me.
Do you guys both have cash in your wallets right now? Could you try it and just see how it feels? Let's do it.
I think I would be thinking about it the entire podcast. It'd be one of those things.
That's like me and the volume on the TV has to be turned up in increments of 5. Drives me crazy.
Dude, me too.
What?
Yeah.
It's so weird.
That's awesome.
Stop it.
Not only that, so I have a sound bar now. So the TV volume has to be set at 20 at all times, and then the sound bar volume could change.
Yeah.
I don't understand that logic.
Yeah, it drives my wife crazy. If she ever gets mad at me, she just tries to wait until I'm not looking and drops it by 2 clicks.
Yep, I know exactly how to live with that, man.
This part I did know about the volume. I didn't know you were like that too, Zach. But we actually used to have a Game of Thrones night, Scott, and at a friend's house where we would watch Game of Thrones, and he would always be like, "Can you turn the volume up just 2 more, man? Just 2 more."
And Sean would do it on purpose just to jack with me.
I would be sitting back there with Sean Sean, do it. Don't do it. Like, do it and then don't do it. And he would just keep changing it. But it really bothered me. I was just like, why does this bother you? I mean, I honestly don't even know what the numbers are in my house. I don't care. What's loudest? There we go. That's the right one. I can hear it.
Oh, man. See, like on my phone volume, I always have to do it in increments of 2.
See, my phone volume doesn't have numbers on it. It's just a bar.
Yeah, it's just
Well,
like
it is just a bar, but I know I'm clicking it twice.
oh my.
Oh, I see.
And then if I want to turn it down by like 6 or whatever, I'll turn it up to max volume and then go down by 6. So I make sure it's in increments of 2.
That makes sense and doesn't.
I get it from Scott. Like, I've known him a long. I get Scott. Zach, you were the most laid back, whatever guy in the world, and you're sitting there going, "No, it's got to be 2, man. It's got look, it's got to be 2, and the volume 5. I don't understand. Why don't you get what I'm talking about? 5, not 3, 5."
Look, I'm not an asshole about it, but yeah, no, it's.
Well, at least in that case, it's your personal phone. It's not like a communal television.
Right. It is my television.
Because it drives my wife crazy because she's like, no, that's too loud and that's too quiet. I'm happy with the volume at that middle spot. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not. I can't.
It's going to be too loud, honey. You want too loud or too quiet? What do you want?
God, I would hate for either one of you to wander into the Three Bears house. Because it would never be good enough. It would just be, that's too hot, that's too cold, that's too warm, that's too beep, 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 beep. And I would just root for the bears to eat you.
Maybe that's how I'm so laid back in other aspects of life, because this is what I stress over. Is the volume on my TV.
This is why I can't ever take phone calls, because I can't get
I just
the
like
volume
how
right.
Aaron's like, yeah, it doesn't make any sense for Zack, but I mean, Scott, he's crazy.
Dude, you're super
I've
OCD.
known him for a long time.
You're super OCD. I get it. Zach illuminates. Nah. I mean, that's really Zach's persona. Nah. Do you think we should really do this? What do you think? Nah, I'm good. It's whatever. He's a whatever guy. You're very, very regimented and, very detail oriented. All right, I expect it out of you. He's like, I got to have it 5 and I got to have it 2. What? I don't even. I'm blown away. Right now, I just feel like my world changed.
So, Zach, did you ever think that this story would bring this conversation up?
No, I did not expect to see it going in this direction. Well, I think we just got a whole smirk out of it, though.
Sorry. What did you want to talk about? I guess that should be more important.
Oh yeah, I mean, what do you guys think the moral of the story is?
Boy, that's
if you can remember the story at this point.
I don't. There were magical gnomes that are stealing socks, so I'm guessing
that's true.
Stop wondering where your socks are. The moral is it doesn't matter. It's probably a great world they're going to, a better world.
Your socks have gone to a better place.
They are. They're happier.
I was going to say there is an explanation for everything, even if it is whimsical.
The moral was check your sources because he got a strange gift. But now that feels like a lifetime ago.
It does. You should rewrite it.
It's funny you said that because I was thinking that when you were telling the story. A washer and dryer, I mean, that's depending on what brand and model and stuff you get. That's a pretty expensive gift to just go ahead and hook up in your house.
That's pretty fancy. Like somebody's wanting something for that. That's some, yeah. That's some loving right there, as expected.
Which led to my first question of: have you ever been gifted something anonymously?
Yes, I will.
Ooh,
Once I got an anonymous love letter with a gift. I honestly can't remember the gift, but I'll remember the letter as long as I'll live because it was crazy as shit. I had to go to HR. That's how crazy it was. This is
was somebody at work?
Yeah, I was at my work.
Oh man!
And I got this anonymous gift and letter, and the letter was very. I was dating my now wife, and I was dating her, and I got this letter telling me that me and this person are soulmates, and like, oh yeah, I've pictured our life together and all this other stuff, and it was just insanity. And, and she's not ready. I was very worried about her well-being. I was like my soon-to-be wife's well-being. I'm like, I don't think you should be walking alone in the parking lot anymore because this is nutty. Yeah, I got one of those. So yes, I have, and I don't like it.
Was she hot?
The person that sent it?
Yeah.
No, the HR manager.
No, thanks. They're still there. I think they're a very lovely person. Was the person that sent it to me? I mean, nah, I guess not. Not my type, I would say, because I'm not into that. Like, I like crazy. I don't want wicked insane.
I was going to say, if she looked like Scarlett Johansson, do you think you could have put it to the side?
I would let it slide.
That's what I thought.
No.
That's how it always goes.
I wouldn't want it to HR. I would have just been like, all right, let's see how much do you
could go
need
wrong?
This is going to end well.
What about you, Scott?
I'm trying to think. I mean, there's been anonymous gifts like in my mailbox at work, but not anything creepy. Just like a candy bar that I assume is from my boss or the secretary or something. But it's not just for me. It's like everyone has one in there. You know what I mean? Like it was distributed to every teacher. I can't think of like an anonymous gift because I feel like that's always frowned upon at work. Like I actually just went through some training at what kind of gifts can you receive as a teacher. Has to be under a certain dollar amount. Has to be available to the public. They're very particular about that for reasons. I've never been given a washer and dryer. I'll tell you that much.
Would you accept a free appliance on your doorstep, or would you question?
I would definitely question it. I feel like I especially wouldn't hook it up. I would probably put it in my garage to make sure it doesn't get stolen in case it is legit, and then do some research. Like, there's got to be a return address on it, like which retailer it came from. I would do some inquiry to that retailer.
Hire a private eye to figure out where this washer and dryer came from?
Yeah.
Hey, sweetie, where'd you get that washer from, eh? Shit.
My immediate thought when I was listening to your story was that there was a bomb in it or something, or something that was going to do some harm to the home.
I said it was a light story.
Yeah.
Well,
wow.
You could have been lying.
What a way to take it dark, though. Don't bring it back to last week. We're not going to do the last episode, Scott. We're not going to go that dark, all right? We're going to keep it light here. I would take it, and I would plug it in, and I would do laundry with it. That's what I would do. I'd be like, thanks. This is amazing. I got a free washer. Woohoo! That's what I would do. I'm kidding. Don't do this. I don't want it. I don't trust people that I know that give me stuff. I'm like, what's the freaking catch, huh? What do you want for this? Dude, it's a $12 I owe you. Yeah, sure it is. Sure it is. Are they all facing the right way? I didn't think so. Get out of here.
Well, I mean, I think I would immediately just hook it up. Screw it. What's life going to do?
See? Whatever, guy.
What's the worst that could happen?
I mean, the
bomb goes off?
What was the character's name? Cale? Was that his name?
Cale. Yeah,
Cale Boom.
He was doing his laundry at the laundromat before that. I haven't done that since I was a kid. That is a miserable... No, I had to do it once when our machine broke, but that is a miserable experience. You described that quite well.
It sucks.
Yeah.
So
I have a lot of experience with laundromats.
Yeah, because we were
They
poor.
suck.
We didn't have any white sock privilege.
No.
how are the coin machines always broken? It's always that orange light.
That felt like the truest part of the story to me was,
Yeah.
if this should be mathematically impossible, and yet is absolutely truthful.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? It's because they always had an attendant that worked in the back that you never saw, but he's back there just, I don't know, thinking about your laundry, and he just wants someone to talk to. So he just...
Thinking about your laundry.
Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying.
The delicates.
You know how, like, in movies, that's always, like, a date thing, by the way? They always, like, meet up in a laundromat, or maybe they met in a laundromat, or they go to the laundromat together.
Those are lies.
Does that happen?
No, a real date. She's like, oh, this is where we meet. We're done. This is never going to go anywhere. Really? You can't even get a job where we could go to a real restaurant? You cheap son of a... No, we're done. That's how a real thing.
And there's always that awkward moment in the movies where somebody's unmentionables or, I don't want anybody to see my underwear. That
Right.
joke has been done to death.
It is funny, yeah, because in rom-coms, people meet at the laundromat, I feel like relatively frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But in real life, I feel like both people are thinking, they have to do laundry in a laundromat? What a loser, even though they are doing laundry at the laundromat.
Yeah, and they never have any honest clothes in there. Like the guy's never got some whitey tidies that are all streaked up. You don't have
Right.
a woman who's got ripped up panties, like because she's worn them for 12 years.
Where your jeans are all worn down from your thighs rubbing together.
Oh man, I hate when that happens.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I would feel uncomfortable even striking up a conversation with somebody at a laundromat. Like, I don't think I ever had. You're like in your own little bubble.
It's like, what? When did you get out?
Dude, it's so funny because I was going to say the last time I got involved with somebody at the laundromat was just this past year, and it led to me having to talk to the cops. So,
Whoa.
What? This is a great story. I'm interested.
Yeah, you can't leave me on that.
Oh, I mean, it's really nothing. It was just these two teenage girls, and they were asking everybody in the laundromat if they could stay at their place.
And you considered it?
No.
Like, can I see an ID? Are you 18? Because we can talk.
So they did the rounds of asking everybody, like, hey, do you have like a room we could stay at for the night? Which is awfully brave. good thing there, was not a serial killer there. And they did like a second lap where they asked people for money because they're trying to do a motel. And then I talked to them a little bit about why they needed a place to crash or whatever. And they said that they were, there's these two teenage girls we're in love and our family doesn't understand. And it was like this huge sob story. But then they did a third round and they just started grabbing money out of people's purses. Stealing money. The desperation escalated. Well, then they just grabbed this dude's load of laundry for some weird reason. Why? You already sold money. What do you need little clothes for?
Pawn shop.
Oh, okay, man, maybe. And then the laundromat attendant just stood in front of the door to the laundromat and then just called the cops on them. And then they had to interview everybody there. It was quite dramatic.
Wow.
Of course he stared at him. He's like, I've been thinking about these clothes all night, and you're not taking them out of the store. You're not doing it.
Or he's like, thank God, something to do that's not mopping the floor of the laundromat.
You know what cracked me up is you're telling this story, and you immediately go to the two girl. That's really risky for them to be asking for a place to stay for the night because they might, run into a serial killer. My mind goes the opposite way. I'm like, there's two of them. They're totally going to kill somebody. They're looking for a victim. That's the way I went. I ain't trusting two teenage girls that are soliciting people at the laundromat. No way.
Awful lot of tangents on this Smirk, I tell you.
Sorry.
No, it's good. I think it's a fun. It's supposed to be a fun, topic.
I'm just glad I'm not alone in my my dollar organization, Zach. You're my spirit animal.
I think we are many. I think Aaron is a minority on this one.
What? Because I just spend money? I'm not. What do you guys do when you go to a strip club? Do you have to have it organized when you're flipping the dollars over and over and you're like, Lincoln's head's wrong way. Can't do that one.
No, wait a minute. Can I have that back?
Can you send it back?
Hold on,
I gotta redo it.
Oh, see, no, you put it in your thong the wrong way. Hold on. Can I just move that for you? Thank you.
No. Come over here. Let me organize your dollars for you before you go off stage.
I'd hate for you to look like a crazy person on the stage. Is accepting a gift from a stranger ever safe?
Well, there's pay it forward stuff. I've actually been in a Starbucks line where the guy in front of me paid for my coffee, and then you do the same for the person behind you. So, sure.
Did you do the same?
I did. Absolutely. Yep.
I've always fantasized about being in that scenario and having the balls to be the person who's like, everyone's paying. That's great. Thanks. And then just driving off.
Free coffee. Woohoo.
Yeah.
I've done the deal at McDonald's where I'll be like, hey, I'm going to pay for the person behind me, random stranger. They don't really have a choice to accept it or not. What are they going to do?
So yeah, I think it happens. It depends on what it is. Is it like, here's a room key, it's a free hotel, wink, wink. That's different. I'm not taking that. But if hey, somebody you got a surprise $10 gift, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It could just be somebody trying to do a nice thing. Sure, there are still good people in the world.
But I think to Zach's point, it's hard to trust that because...
Yeah, cynical everywhere. I get it.
Right. Well, if somebody gave you a candy bar for free, would you eat it?
No.
Halloween says hello.
That's a lie. I totally would.
I was going to say,
I totally would.
Trick-or-treating is a thing, guys.
I would Dane cook that all the way. Thanks for the candy.
Is trick-or-treating still a thing? I've lived in cities for so long now.
It is, but it's heavily regulated now. You can only go during a 2 or 3 hour window while it's light out.
While it's light out, that defeats the entire purpose.
I could do a whole Smirk episode on those little sons of bitches that take more than one thing out of your candy bowl. Yeah. Little savages.
See, we give handfuls at my house because we get 15 kids every year. So we're like, come on, give her this candy.
No, you're doing Halloween wrong, Scott, because it's supposed to be about how much you have left at the end of the night. That's really what it's about. And you can't do that if you get some greedy little kid that takes it all.
It's important to think selfishly on Halloween.
Exactly. It's my favorite holiday. Mine. My favorite holiday.
And now I want a Snickers bar.
It satisfies.
Also, think about the things for strangers. Like Starbucks, right? They throw away all their pastries in the night instead of donating them because they're afraid of lawsuits. I feel like we should just be a little more open to the idea of accepting things from people. Not everyone's malicious.
But that goes against everything you're taught as a human being from the time you're born. Don't take anything from strangers. Don't trust strangers. Don't do it. Because they're all going to kill you, strangle you, or leave you in a ditch. So people don't out of that. Muscle memory.
I'm all against the fear-mongering machine of America.
And I think America's doing a pretty good job of it. We've been all raised to not get in car with strangers, but Uber is a thing.
Right, yeah.
And I haven't yet gotten in an Uber and not been slightly terrified that this is my last car ride ever.
I got a final bonus question for you. Where do all the socks go?
I have wondered that for a long time. I think that it comes with the separating, which I know you don't do, Aaron. It sounds like neither of you separate your clothes.
Oh, no. In fact, I will just throw everything in the same drawer. I don't even care.
So you don't even organize your drawer's not organized either?
Man, I'll tell you what, I fold all my shirts and pants and all that stuff, but socks and underwear, they get wadded up and thrown in the drawer.
Oh, that hurts my brain.
Oh, man. I want to go to your house. I'm just going to mess up all your stuff.
Seriously.
I'll tell you what I do. I keep all the clothes in the hamper, and I put the dirty clothes on the floor next to the hamper until my hamper is empty, and then I'll put the dirty clothes in the hamper and do some laundry.
Yeah, I can't do that because...
What kind of chaos is that? Do you fold them or do you just wrinkle it up?
No, they're wrinkly, man, until I wear the wrinkles come out when you wear them.
They
People
don't.
freak out about wrinkles.
No, they don't.
Wrinkles
you
go
homeless. Good. Why? No wonder you'll take stuff from strangers.
Hey, well, you know, my motto apparently, nah.
Now, I think this
clothes away?
illustrates my
Nah.
point, America, of why I'm saying it shocks me that his money has to be organized. This is a guy
The volume has to be
that'll
set
just take
correctly.
wrinkly stuff out of a basket.
You don't even
and
have
throw it
like
on.
wrinkle release spray or anything? You just like throw on a wrinkly shirt?
I didn't know such a product existed until right now.
Seriously?
I'm just going to go in the bathroom and turn on the hot water. That'll steam it out.
I would do that with a fancy shirt, but all the fancy shirts are at the bottom of the hamper because I don't wear them.
They've been in the bottom of the hamper for like 6 months.
Why does that
Years,
smell
probably.
like cheese?
I would probably give it a quick wash, maybe. I probably wouldn't.
Dear God.
But to answer your question, I think that's what happens with the socks is when you sort or like if you have a laundry chute, like we have a laundry chute in my house.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's fun.
I don't use it anymore, honestly, because then I have a pile of laundry that is not sorted. So it's easier for me just to gather up my stuff,
It's dirty.
go down and sort it because we have a hamper that's got like the 3 things and one's for.
Oh my God! You can sort it when you get downstairs.
That's what I hate. I hate going down there and having a giant basket of laundry that's unsorted when I can just go down after I get out of the shower, put the colors in one basket, put the whites in another basket, put the towels in another.
You actually have separate baskets.
Well, it's not baskets. It's like a hanging hamper thing that's got like 3 of them.
This is like some kind of Inception world I don't want to visit.
You make it sound like I'm the crazy one for separating my laundry.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go.
That's what I'm going with.
We could agree on this. You're the crazy one. Wasting your time.
I can't wait to hear the responses
much
and
free
see how
time.
many people separate their laundry and how many don't.
I bet you will be surprised how many people do not do that.
And for the people that do, it's okay. Feel free. Free yourself and stop separating your laundry.
What was your question? Where the socks go? I found all my socks. They were behind the dryer. I don't know how they got there, but that's where they were.
Doesn't even make any sense.
There's just a pile of socks there.
I'm telling you, man. Like I at one point I had to pull out my dryer to get behind it, and there was like 15 socks behind it. I swear to God. I think what it is because there's no backing in the back of my dryer, and sometimes I'll throw my clothes on top of it while I'm pulling them out or whatever, and I think over time they just fell back there.
So you actually set laundry not in a basket on top of your dryer?
I don't have a basket. I don't need a basket.
That's
I
why
use my
you get
hands.
socks behind. That's why.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, if I was more organized, obviously, if my money was in the right place, if I lived my life less than a quarter of a mile at a time, I could enjoy
couldn't
it.
imagine that. We have like 4 laundry baskets. Does not make any sense to me.
There's two of you, right? Like you and your wife.
Yeah.
That's it, right? Do the cats? Because you have cats. Do they have their own laundry basket too?
Baskets.
I have one laundry basket, and I think I've had it for 20 years.
Yeah.
The only laundry basket I have is a carrying compartment for our dog that my wife uses. That she's used as something to carry the dog's stuff around forever. That's literally the only laundry basket I have.
Oh, man, yes. I have seen this. I can validate this, Aaron.
Yeah, it's got dog gnawing on it. on the sides of it.
I can't say I've noticed that, but yeah, I can see your wife doing her little jostle with the dog in the laundry basket.
Yeah. There's a better odds of an animal being in our laundry basket than actual laundry.
That's awesome. As for where socks go, I answer to guys, it's the gnomes. So do you think the story is truth or fiction?
Well, here's the thing. Truth. The gnome thing is definitely fiction for obvious reasons.
True. It's true. That happened.
No, I'm going to say fiction.
As far as you know, it is fiction. I wish Amanda were here. She could say it's triction somehow. Somehow she would say it's triction.
Well, yeah, because there's laundry and that happens.
Right. Every story is triction to Amanda.
I'm going to make my code word stick.
Stop trying to make fetch a thing.
It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen, man. What's the title of your story?
The Curious Case of Cale's Color Conundrum.
Alliteration for the win.
I was so proud of that.
That's very well done. Very well done.
Aaron's going to kill me because I'm murdering our SEO.
Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out how to do that in the old web post there. You know what? As our show goes, we will occasionally pick listener stories to read and discuss on Smirk. If you'd like the chance to have yours read, email to mystory@smirkpodcast.com. You can always join the conversation by joining our Facebook group. We're on Twitter @SmirkPodcast. Just be sure to use the hashtag Smirk. And if you listen, please rate the episode in your podcast app. You don't have to write anything. Just rate it with stars. That's fantastic. We do appreciate it.
As you write your own life story, always remember to tell it with a smirk.
Gnomes. It is true, though. He did used to steal garden gnomes. That's the truth.
It's true. Yeah, I used to it was fun. Me and my brothers would just drive around and steal people's garden gnomes. Which worked out well in winter because then I had the back of my car weighted.
And then wouldn't you replace them and just put the wrong ones back in people's yards?
No, we did do that a couple times to neighbors that we knew. But ultimately what ended up happening was we gave our grandma about 30, 40 garden gnomes, and now they're all over her property.
That's
and she thought we were so sweet because she wanted lawn decorations. We're like, you know what, Grandma? I got just the thing for you. Here's 30 garden gnomes.